So this is called a pinch collar. And the way it works is it works just like their mother scruffing them. So it distributes even pressure across the neck, which with a pug is very important because he's a brachycephalic breed, meaning that he has trouble breathing. So you don't want him pulling against a collar or against a harness and causing damage to his throat. With this collar, you won't have that problem. It actually protects his throat, so it's not going to cause any harm to him. And dogs, being physical creatures, they understand body language and physical touch more than verbal usage. So they're not vocal because of themselves. They're vocal because they learned from humans. So we have to teach them what no means. We have to teach them what commands are. But this is a form of correction that they already understand because it's the first one that they learn as a puppy. So you ever seen a mother with her puppies? She picks them up by the neck. If they're being too rough, she's like, "Hey, stop that." That's exactly what this does. And so you'll notice a huge difference when you walk in with this, and it'll be like night and day because it's something that he already understands.
Look how come he is sitting there listening to the lesson.
So this isn't a collar that he wears all the time. This is only something you're going to use when you're walking him or when he's on leash. So if you have him attached to a leash in the house, this is good to have because you can also prevent the jumping with this and any pulling on leash. Basically anything that you're doing on leash, you'll give the correction via this collar. You can keep the harness on him.
And what is that collar called again?
It's called a pinch collar.
Pinch collar.
So this is yours.
Okay, good.
Yeah, this is for him.
Okay, good.
You can keep the harness on him if you want, or put a flat collar on him. This is a little backup here because sometimes if he gets to rolling in the grass, these clips will slip off the collar because this ring here is super thin. So I give you this backup so you can attach this backup to another collar, or you can attach it to his harness just in case.
Okay.
I very rarely see them slip out, but it is known to happen, so it's always good to just have a backup.
Okay.
Hi, buddy. So let's see if this is small enough.
So you think a harness, I don't know, should we put that on when he's ready to go walk?
Yeah, so this collar will only go on when he's either going for a walk or if you're going to have him on leash in the house, because this is the way you'll be able to communicate with him. Because dogs don't communicate verbally with each other, they communicate physically. You're crazy.
You see?
Okay.
The little one's just a backup, so we'll attach it to his harness just in case. Oh, yeah.
So when you say the little one, you don't put it on?
The little one is the backup, so you attach it to his harness or another collar.
Okay.
Because if he were to like roll around in the grass, sometimes they can slip out. Now because hasn't had any training before and he doesn't know what no means, he's gonna throw a fit. He's gonna cry. This doesn't hurt him. He's throwing a temper tantrum because he's never been told no before, and this is telling him no. So he's gonna get upset for a bit, but he'll be okay. Yeah.
Now that harness, should we take it off when we bring it from the walk, or should we keep it on?
It's up to you. If you're gonna have him on leash with you, I'd say keep it on to attach the backup. But if he's just gonna be in this cage, take it off because there's a potential for it to like get stuck on that cage just in case.
Yeah.
And anytime my dogs are in the cage, I take everything off.
I've seen that. I've seen that already. Yeah.
Yeah. So that way he doesn't get caught or anything. He's like, I don't know what to do now. There we go. Good job. Wait, this doesn't. Yeah, it feels funny, doesn't it? What is it? I might need to take another link out because you've got a lot of extra skin. When you put this on, you should be able to get 2 fingers under the chain portion. That's how you size it. Right now I can get 4, so it's kind of big.
Okay.
I'll take another link out in a minute once he gets a little more used to it. This collar is supposed to be snug. It's not supposed to be loose. If it's loose, it's not working properly. So it's supposed to be up towards the back of his ears, not hanging down like where this harness is.
Okay.
It's gonna be snug. That's how it's supposed to be.
So you keep that on and they can eat and everything, is that on?
With this collar? Yeah, it doesn't hurt. You can feel it. It just, even right now, it's super loose. He's just got a lot of extra skin. So it makes it look like it's tight, and it's not. He's got all this extra skin, buddy. He's like, I don't know what to do now. Alright. So we'll go out to the patio, that way I can kind of walk him around a little bit and have some more room.
Okay.
We'll go out that way?
Yeah.
Okay, come on. Morty, come on. Oh, I know this feels funny, doesn't it? So he's gonna throw a temper tantrum. Come on, let's go. Good boy. There we go. Come on.
So the document is just for you because he's not really paying attention. Ooh, okay. Right, is always.
You'll see this because pugs are also very stubborn. A little bit of drama queens. It's like huskies in a tiny body. Good. So if he tries to put the brakes on you, just wait him out. There you go. And this is just getting him used to it, teaching him what's called leash pressure. Because the harness, he can pull on it all day long and it's comfortable. So he doesn't understand that pulling against the leash is negative. So this is teaching him that pulling is bad. You'll notice that he'll shake a bit when he wears it, and it's just because he's got to it's going to take some getting used to.
So when he feels the pull, it's telling him to stop or to come?
Yes, it's telling him to stop. Good. So what he's learning right here is that coming towards me releases that pressure on the collar. Good. So you'll see he'll turn and he faces me when he starts to feel that. And you'll notice when you take him on walks, as he gets used to it, he'll start looking up at you a lot. Which is what you want. That's the goal, is he should be checking in with you frequently. Because that means he's paying attention to you and is understanding that you're the one taking him for a walk, not the other way around. Good shake. Good.
He's not jumping up at all.
Nope.
Is that because he knows the
He's
collar?
figured out that, yeah. And you may notice when he gets excited, he might try. So if he goes up and he looks like he's about to jump, all you do is pull back on that collar, just 2 little tugs, just like that. It's in the wrist. It's not like in your shoulder, your elbow. It's just 2 little tugs, just like that. And you'll accompany that with a no or or leave it. Whatever you want to use, it just has to be consistent every time. When you walk him, it doesn't matter which side he's on, but he needs to be on the same side every single time. Because consistency is very, very important.
On the same side when you walk him?
Yes, on
Okay.
the same side every single time.
This seems to always be going around.
Yeah, right now this is just teaching leash pressure. The leash pressure, he has to know what the no means before we put him in the walking position. So a dog's job on the walk is, his job is going to be to stay right next to you.
Mm-hmm.
That's his job. Every dog wants a job. They want that structure. They want to have a leader to follow. So you're the leader. You have to tell him what to do. Otherwise, you'll see him pulling. He'll be marking. He'll be jumping on people because he thinks he can do whatever he wants. And
So every time you walk him, you're essentially training him.
yes,
Yeah.
every single time.
Yeah.
And it's super easy because you're just taking him for a walk.
Yeah.
So what you'll do is you'll put him in that heeling position, in that walking position, same one every single time, whether it's your left side or your right side. You'll say heel every time you start to walk. Every step, that first step that you take, you'll say, okay, heel. And that's what you do.
Okay.
You don't let him sniff. You don't let him pull you. You don't let him mark, especially with him being an intact male. You tell him when he can go sniff and go potty. So of course, when you first take him out, he's still young. The first thing you'll want to do is just heel for a few steps, pull off to the grass, say, okay, and that's his time to go potty and sniff. So what I do is I'll pull my dogs off to the side. I'll say, okay, I'll let them have the full length of the leash. You stay in one spot and he gets that perimeter of the leash to go potty and sniff and do whatever.
You don't let him pull you
Correct.
to a spot that he wants to
Yeah,
go to.
You tell him when he gets to go.
Okay.
Because with males that are still intact, they're going to want to pee on everything.
Okay.
So he may not necessarily need to go. He's just trying to mark, and he'll try to pull you wherever he wants to go.
Okay.
So by telling him, no, this is where you're going to go, that'll also help to stop marking.
That's how long he's been sitting there still.
So that he understands.
Hold this, I gotta tie my shoe.
Okay.
Yeah, and then after you let him go potty and have his few minutes in the grass, you'll do the same thing. Okay, heel, you'll put him back in that heeling position and you'll continue on your walk. And what I do with my dogs is I'll usually go a block or two, and then I'll stop, I'll pull off to the side again and say, okay, and let him sniff and go potty and all those things. So right now that he's kind of calmed down and kind of figured out the leash pressure, I'll teach the heeling position. So what I'll do is I'm gonna see if I can take this extra link out real quick.
Let's get an umbrella for.
Yeah.
Is that a little better? Perfect. Yeah, that's better.
Is it okay? You want to get an umbrella?
Oh no, I'm fine.
I'm okay.
Thank
You want to go
though.
hold it for her? I'm okay with that. Getting wet.
They're going to interfere.
Yeah, perfect.
This is the food drops.
So I always go on the left, and his job is going to be to stay right here even with my leg. So I shorten up on the leash. I'll hold about right here on this end, and this end here I'll wrap around my wrist, just in case, like if he pulls, it's not going to slip out. So I'll tell him heel. He's going to throw a little fit for a minute, just because he's not used to it. So any little pulling that I get from him, I'm just pulling back. Just guiding him back to where I want him to be, which is going to be. We'll put the brakes on a little bit. That's okay.
So that's how you would walk with that much
Yep.
leash. I mean,
That's all he
pretty,
gets.
pretty tight, yeah.
Because there's no reason for him to be 6 feet in front of you or off to the side or anything like that. Because especially if you're turning a corner or if you're walking down these neighborhoods, you know, you never know if a dog might come out or anything, or like a car or something. Those retractable leashes are the worst. I've seen dogs dart out into a busy street on those retractables. and
So
they're
that was
getting
answers my
back.
question. 'Cause I was going to ask, should we get him a retractable leash? So that's a big no.
Yeah, big no.
There's
Starting to get it.
Good boy, Marty.
So the goal is for the leash to be loose like that, but she's pulling now.
But he's not jumping.
Yes, he is not jumping. Good. You see, he's looking at me. He's starting to look up at me. And in like his whole job, and he'll get better. You'll notice he'll get better as you practice this more. Is to just stay here, even with me. And of course, the better behaved the dog is, the more walks he's gonna get. You'll be able to take him to bars, restaurants, things like that. He'll be able to get out more because he's better behaved.
So if you stop, he's supposed to stop next to you?
Yes. So what I'll do is if I stop, I just keep the leash right there with me. So
You don't say heel or
Well,
only
here's
with the
walking.
first step.
okay.
Only with the
Heel
first
is
step.
go, not stop.
Yes,
Okay.
correct.
So when you stop, you just stop.
Yeah, when
Okay.
I stop, I just stop.
Okay.
Because his job is to pay attention to me.
Yeah.
So he should be watching for me to stop. Now, if I were to stop and he kept going, I'm just going to stay right here like a statue, because he'll hit the end of that leash and correct himself.
Yeah.
And that'll be like, hey, get back here.
Okay.
I'm over here. And so now he's like, okay, I get this. And he's going to be really tired when we're done too, because this is a lot of mental work for
Good.
him. A lot of mental work.
And will I be tired? Will I be tired?
Probably. But yeah, something like this, especially with him, because it's so new to him, a 5-minute walk will wear him out, because you're asking him to focus on a lot of things. You're asking him to focus on you, stay even with your leg, not sniff things, not go and run and chase a squirrel or something like that. That's asking a lot mentally of him, a lot of restraint, and so he's about done.
So don't feel sorry for him because he's on the leash.
Correct.
He's learning.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Don't feel sorry for him.
Okay.
Safest place for him to be is going to be right here next to you too.
Okay.
Another reason why retractables are never a good idea is what if somebody comes by on a bike, you can keep him close and step in front of him so that he doesn't get in front of the bike, or a dog comes running at you, you can step in front of him and keep him behind you, and he's not moving because I didn't tell him to.
He knows. Look at him standing there.
Good boy. And
He didn't
so-
throw much of a fit, did he?
Mm-mm. Nope. We
Smart
figured
boy.
it out pretty quick. Yeah. That's a good boy. He's like, okay, this is fine, I guess. But yeah, any jumping, you'll do the same thing with the collar. Just 2 little tugs, no, off, whatever. It just has to be the same thing every single time. Usually what I do for jumping is off. A lot of people instinctually want to say down,
Mhm.
but then when you try to teach down later on, it's
Oh,
very
I thought about it. Yeah,
confusing.
that's a good point.
It's
Yeah.
confusing for the dogs.
Yeah.
They're like, wait, I thought this was down.
Yeah.
So I always use off. You tired?
And probably just saying no is probably not good either, because then it's not for everything.
Yeah.
So you have to have specific word for specific.
And use the same thing every
Yeah,
time.
same
So our
thing every
command,
time.
when we want him to get down, is off, not down.
Yes.
Okay.
Yeah.
and
Because then it gets confusing later
Yeah.
on.
When he's not on the leash and he jumps on you, what do you do?
Off. And usually what I do is I'll like either put my leg out like this to kind of push him off, or I turn my back. With big dogs,
You don't
with-
push him down to the ground,
No.
or you don't hit the ground and say off.
No, because
Okay.
if your hand comes down like that, he's gonna think you're playing.
Okay.
He's like, oh, we're gonna play.
That's
Okay.
what we've been doing.
That's what we've been doing.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And so he thinks you're playing. With smaller dogs, it's a little more difficult with teaching off when they're not on leash, just because they're little. With big dogs, if a big dog jumps on you, you put your knee up, and then the knee keeps them from getting to you.
Should you gently maybe kick him a little bit?
Not him, because he's little, and not the big dogs either. It's not an outwards motion, it's more of an up motion with large dogs. But with him being small, I just kind of put my foot out, not kicking or anything. It's more of a block, so that he can't. I say off, and it's a blocking motion where you can turn around.
Okay.
Notice that he's not moving, so he's not going to move until you move your left foot.
Yeah.
So
he's already learned.
They figure it out pretty quickly.
Yeah.
Because this collar, he already knows what that correction feels like. He already knows that sensation means no. So it's real easy for them to learn. These collars are also good for the summer.
So
for the summer.
is longer walks better than shorter walks, or
it's
does it matter?
up to you.
Okay.
It's completely up to you.
He's little. I don't think he would get tired.
With him being a bracky breed, you mainly have to worry about the temperature. So even though it's not hot right now, it's really humid. So he's gonna have a little harder time breathing in this humidity. So you just want to be mindful of that. If you want to go on a longer walk, it's better to do it in the morning or after dark when it's cooled off. Now, reaching the summertime, your best bet's probably going to be in the morning, because in Texas, even at 9 o'clock at night, it's still 90.
Yeah.
So when should he poop? Is that every dog's different and every day's different, or?
Yeah, so every dog's different. It depends on how much he's eating, but typically it'll be within an hour after eating.
Okay.
So it'll be first thing when he'll wake up, he'll need to go. Your best bet is going to be to put him on leash, bring him out here, and have him on leash. The reason it's good to have him on leash when you're bringing him out here just to go potty is so that he understands this is to go potty. We're not out here to play.
Okay.
Because what'll happen is if he's not on leash and you bring him out here, he's like, oh, it's playtime.
So, but we're
and he
leaving
won't
this
go.
door open, so we shouldn't, because he's wandering and So
if he's going to the bathroom in the garage, then he hasn't quite learned that he needs to go to the bathroom out here.
Right.
So your best bet is going to be to take him out every so often. If he has full access to food and water, you're going to need to take him out every hour. Bring him out here on
he
leash
will
every
not
hour.
know on his own to come out and do it out here.
So
What-
if he's going in the garage, he hasn't figured out that this is where he needs to go potty.
What we're doing, for the recommendation of my son, was, so we put the food out, we give him 30 minutes or so to eat it, and then we put it up.
That's
we
good.
don't leave it out all day
Yeah,
long.
that's good.
We leave the water out all day long,
Yeah.
but not the food.
So he'll probably need to go to the bathroom every, depending on how much he's drinking, 2 hours, 2 to 3 hours then. So what I would do, is he only pooping in there, or is he still peeing in there?
Peeing.
1 week,
He's
so he
peeing
pee and
too.
poop in
Okay.
there.
So then he hasn't figured out that he needs to go out here. So
But
you'll
when
need
I
to
come
do-
out here with him, he pees everywhere.
Yeah.
He pees every 2 seconds out here.
Yeah, because he's marking.
Yeah.
Yep, that's what
He's
it
not
is.
really peeing.
Yep.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Okay.
So bring him, set a timer. That's what I always do, especially with puppies. Set a timer for every 2 hours. And what you'll do is you'll bring him out here on leash. So obviously, like, first thing when he wakes up in the morning, he'll need to be out here to go potty. An hour after he'll eat, bring him out here to go potty. But in between those markers, he'll need to be either on leash, attached to you in the house, or in his crate. And that provides a routine. So when he comes out here and he's on leash, he understands that he needs to go potty here. When he's attached to you on the leash, you'll still want to watch him, because since he hasn't quite figured out that he needs to go outside, he may try to go while you're holding the leash. So you want to just kind of be mindful and check on him. If he looks like he's starting to sniff a lot or circle, bring him out here. And what I always do is I teach my dogs go potty. So every time I bring them outside and they're on leash, I tell them, okay, go potty. And we sit here and we sit here and we sit here. And after they go, I say, yes, good potty.
You keep
And I'll
him
give
on
them
the
a
leash.
treat.
You don't let
Yeah,
him go. You
I
keep
don't
him-
let him
okay.
go. Because if we're out here strictly to go to the bathroom, then I want him to understand this is strictly to go to the bathroom.
Okay.
So I tell him, I bring my dogs out on leash, I'll bring them to the grass, I'm like, okay, go potty, and I'll walk with them, and they can sniff and everything, and after they go, I say, yes, good potty, and I'll give him a treat or a little piece of food or something, so that he understands this is what I want you to do. Now, if you're out here just to let him run around, don't bring him on leash. Then he can run around, he can do whatever, so that he understands that if he's on leash, it's time to go potty. If he's off leash, he can run around and play. Yeah.
You don't recommend a mat or whatever? I've heard people have something in the house where they can go pee. Or...
Not the pee pads, because what it does is you teach the dog that it's okay to go to the bathroom in the house. And even if they stay on that one spot, I've yet to meet a dog that stays on that one spot. A lot of people, they take their little dogs and they'll put the pee pads down. They're like, oh, it'll be okay. And the dog's still going to the bathroom everywhere.
Yeah.
Because you just taught them that this whole place is a potty pad.
So let me make sure I understand. Your recommendation is every 2 hours, come and take him for a walk.
Yeah.
But
Either a walk or just bring him out here on leash.
on leash.
Yeah.
But otherwise, you could just come out and bring him out here just to play.
Yes. Yeah. So you teach him that if he's out here on leash, it means it's time to go potty.
Yeah.
But if he's out here on his own, like if that 2 hour mark goes off and you just want to bring him out here and let him play, that's perfectly fine.
Okay. Now,
It's just to establish a structure.
what about if you observe him pooping or peeing?
In the house?
Yeah.
So your best bet is to pick him up as quickly as possible and bring him out here.
Okay.
Rubbing their nose in, it doesn't work. If you don't catch him actively doing it, he's not going to understand if you try to give him a correction. So dogs you have a 3-second window to correct or praise any behavior.
3 seconds?
Wow.
3 seconds. So timing, that's why timing and consistency is everything.
See, I'm
in
better
dog
than
training.
that, at least. You have more than that time with me.
So 3 seconds. So if you find a puddle or if you find some poop in the house, you can't do anything about it then, because you didn't see him do it. Now, if you catch him doing it, quickly scoop him up and like run him out here as quickly as possible.
And say no.
Yeah, say no, grab him and then come out here, put him down, say go potty. And then once he does, you'll say yes, good potty, and you can give him a treat or you can love on him, make it really happy, so that he understands that that's bad, this is good. But yeah, you have a 3-second window.
I just can't believe how long he's just sitting there, because he never stops running.
Yeah, he never stops running, but
Yeah.
look
He's
at
like a
him.
little crazy man.
He is
And
really.
if you're, the 2 hour thing, even if you're just sitting down watching TV, put him on leash, let him sit with you. Let him sit on the floor while you're watching TV. That teaches him what's called an off switch. A lot of people think, I just have to run my dog and tire him out. And that's actually bad, because what it does is it builds up their endurance and it keeps them crazy mentally.
Yeah, that's exactly what I thought.
So you have to teach them how to calm down. So you do that by either putting them in a crate, letting them take a nap. Or what I do with my dogs, because my dogs are all older now, we will go outside, run around, play, do whatever. And then I come in and I watch TV and they all sit at my feet. And it's not playtime. You don't get up. You have to sit here. Your job is to sit here with me, and we'll watch a couple episodes of something. And then that's their
But
rest
they
time.
know to be at your feet because you've
Yes.
trained him.
Yeah.
But he doesn't know that right
Yeah,
now, because
so
if you
what
bring
I
him
do-
inside, he won't go
Yeah.
lay by your feet.
No, whatever you are, he's wondering.
Yeah.
Wherever. He
Yeah.
never stops. Up the stairs, down the
Yeah.
stairs, running.
So you're
running.
saying bring the leash in,
Bring the leash
have him with you there.
Yep.
Okay.
And then
Got
so
it.
you'll sit on the couch and just have him leashed, and just have him sit with you. And his whole job is to just sit there. If he starts getting crazy, if he tries to jump, correction on the leash, off. And his job is to just sit there. And so that'll teach him that off switch, so that you can go for a walk, or he can come out here and have his zoomies and you can play. And then when you go inside, he knows, okay, now it's time to rest. It's time to be calm. So one thing that I do is I also have 3 Dobermans, so I don't let my dogs play in the house.
Yeah.
So my dogs have understood outside is playtime. When you come inside, you're calm.
He jumps a lot in the furniture.
Yeah, so if you have him on leash, you can tell him off, and you'll guide him off the
So you
furniture.
pretty much have to keep him on the leash right now.
Yeah, right now while he's still learning this. And then once he learns the off without you having to give the leash correction, then you can take the leash off. Also, once he's not pottying in the house anymore, then you can remove the leash and give him a little more free rein. It'll take some time for him to learn that. The more consistent you are, the faster he'll learn. So the more on top of it that you are, he'll pick it up more quickly.
You know, I'm surprised that he goes in his cage. Is that just because I thought they wouldn't do that?
He goes potty in his cage.
Well,
He did on the way over this morning.
Yeah,
In
the car.
And that is probably more that he didn't get to go out after he ate.
First
So-
thing this morning.
Yeah.
So he's also a little frantic all the time when he's in the car.
Mhm.
So when we transport him, like my son's telling me, when he transports him, he always puts him in the cage because he's too frantic. He's running,
Yeah.
crying. So would you recommend then when he's in the car, put him on the leash?
I'd
And
put him in a cage.
you would put him in the
Yeah,
cage
I'd
when
keep
he's
him
in the car.
Because
Okay.
that's going to be the safest thing for him until
Yeah.
he learns to kind of calm down a little bit.
Mm-hmm.
Put him in the cage, and then once he's a little more relaxed, you can go to like a harness and a seatbelt. So my dogs get seat belted in because they're huge, and I've got a little car, so I can't
Yeah.
put a cage in there. But yeah, mine get seat belted in.
Okay.
And for
So what do
little
you
dogs,
do to
I
calm him
always
down a little so he's not whining the whole time?
he whines in there.
Uh huh.
A lot of that'll just be kind of like working itself out as he gets older and he gets used to it. How long have y'all been watching him? You said it wasn't very long.
No, this
This
is
this is our second week.
It's the second week. Okay,
Yeah.
yeah. As he gets more used to the routine, he'll start to calm down a little bit.
Okay.
It just got really cold.
Yeah.
It's that
Cold
storm.
front's coming in, huh?
But yeah, and you'll notice the more structured walks you take him on, the structured walk meaning that you give him his job of staying with you,
Mm-hmm.
you'll notice that his behavior in other areas will improve greatly.
So the more you walk, and probably the better his behavior is
The
going to
more
be.
walking, the more, and again, it's all about consistency.
Mhm.
Why
So if
don't you
go
try
on-
baby?
Yeah, if you go on like a 10-minute walk a day, even that, if you're doing that every single day, you'll notice a difference after a week in his behavior in other areas.
Okay. So let me practice from here. So I'm gonna hold him like this, and you say go,
Heel.
heel.
Heel. No,
Heel.
you have to heel with
So
your...
relax your arm just a little bit. 'cause
And
you don't
baby,
wanna
when you
pull
say
him
heel,
off.
you go out with your left foot, with the foot that is on his side, right?
Perfect.
And then you just stop.
Yep. And so you don't want to feel any tension on the leash.
Mhm.
You don't want to pull up. So if he starts to pull, you'll pull back just slightly.
okay.
But yeah, just slightly.
Okay.
And if he'll still kind of like go sideways because he hasn't gotten comfortable with being right next to you yet. That'll go away over time. Just keep kind of light, constant pressure on that leash, and he'll correct himself.
Okay,
All right.
Come on, heel. Good boy. Good boy. Good boy. Good boy. Good boy. Not pulling it off.
Good.
Good boy.
He's shaking a little, so he's kind of...
Yeah,
Getting-
and so dogs shake too, and it's their way of like relieving anxiety and stress.
Mhm.
So this is kind of stressful for him
Yeah.
because he's never been told no before. He's in school right now, so it's a little
Mhm.
stressful. So you'll notice he'll shake. That's a
Yeah.
good thing.
Walk some more, baby. We need to practice him.
Heel.
He's not paying attention. What, are we getting a tornado here? He's not pulling?
Not much.
He's
Good boy.
lagging a little, but it's
Good boy. When you make the turns, he lags a little bit.
Yeah.
Just kind of I can feel it. You are.
All right, can I try? Let me see if I can. Okay, so this is the distance, like 2 feet, right?
Yeah,
There.
just right there, just so that he's got just enough.
This goes
Yep, just like that.
like that.
And so you'll tell him heel as you step off.
Heel.
It's okay, keep going. He's just trying to throw a little fit. Perfect. Yeah, so if he stops, you keep going.
Oh, okay.
Yeah. Because he's trying to tell you to stop and you tell
I'm
him
feeling
when to
like
stop.
a
Yeah, it's okay. Just keep guiding him back. There you go.
Where should I keep my arm in front of you? Back?
Just right next to your leg, you'll just keep it down at your thigh. And so if he gets in front of you, just move him off to the side. you'll use that leash. Think of the leash as a steering wheel, and so you're guiding him with that wheel.
I feel like I need to be closer.
You can keep it closer if you like, yeah.
It feels kind of.
Yeah, by all means. If you feel like he needs to be closer, you keep him closer.
Heel.
Does that feel better?
Well, I feel like it's coming in front of me.
And if he does that, you just guide him back. Just like that. Yeah, that was perfect.
Stop. Oh, have you said anything?
Nope, you don't say anything when you stop.
Okay, I'm gonna get it. Okay, go ahead. Okay, hold on. I want to get a close-up of just how the harness is attached, and he's got that kind of double harness thing.
Twisted. So it's this little extra piece,
Yeah, it
and
goes
you can
on
attach it to a collar too, or the harness, either one.
Okay.
This is kind of challenging. So if he's off the leash though, that's going to be the thing that's not getting out to jump. So he's going to have to stay on it.
Yeah, and it's just until he gets it. The more consistent you are with him being on leash and fixing that jumping, the more he'll be consistent with it off.
Gotcha.
Because he's not jumping on the leash.
Yeah.
It's his biggest leash. Heel.
So if we let him in the house and he's jumping, should we just put him on the leash
Put him
for a
on
little
leash,
training
yeah.
session? Okay.
So relax your hand because you don't want to be pulling up. Yeah, there you go. It's okay. He's trying to put the brakes on, and you just keep guiding him. Because he'll try and do that. He'll try to put the brakes on.
So if I let it loose, I guess he's supposed to stay there.
Your goal when walking is you want the leash to be loose like this the entire time. So if you feel tension, you'll just go, just two little tugs like that back.
So he's not pulling.
Correct, yeah.
Okay.
So if he's pulling a lot, you want to do the two little tugs back to tell him no.
And he should be beside me, not
Yeah.
behind me or in front. Just
Yeah.
right.
And if he starts to go behind you, then you just pull out this way a little to bring him back next to your side. If he goes in front of you, same thing, guide him back this way. So this is your steering wheel, and think of this collar like your cell phone. So use the steering wheel to tell him where to go, and use the cell phone to talk to him.
Use this to move.
Yep.
But then pull it.
Yes, yeah. So if he starts pulling, if he jumps, use that collar to tell him no.
Pull back, not up.
Yeah, pull back, not up. Because the leash is his guide. The leash doesn't tell him anything. The collar tells him everything.
Heel.
It's going to be hard to remember to say heel every time. I'm going to have to really practice that for me.
That was good. That was a lot better than time.
Still feel like I need to pull him a little.
Yeah, and
Instead of feeling him a little.
yeah. A lot of people like instinctually want to bring
Yeah.
his arm up. Just make sure you keep it nice and like
So
even with
thinking
your
when
thigh.
you're pulling, you're feeling something.
Yeah, so you don't want to be pulling back on him. It is you got to be conscious of keeping that arm
Maybe that's what it's
loose.
better to keep it more loose.
Yeah,
Than to, because I think it maybe not too tight.
yeah.
Heel.
Yeah. Yeah, you keep going.
Heel.
Now, so you're saying that when you,
Mark his back?
yeah, when you find a spot that it's a good place for him to go to the bathroom, you give him a little leash and you say,
I say, okay, just like that. So like what you would do is heel him over here.
heel.
Stop right here, and then let him have the leash. So you'll let go with this hand, and you'll say, okay.
Okay.
Let me see what are you doing?
Do I move with him?
Yeah, you can walk with him since it's the backyard. When you're out on a walk, you won't walk with him. You'll just let him have that little space.
Okay.
But since it's the backyard, walk with him because this is
And
confined.
then when I'm ready to go, I just say heel.
You'll say heel, and you'll guide him back into position. Though
Heel.
it looks like he's trying to go potty.
Oh.
Okay, boy.
You'll notice the first couple times it'll probably take him a little bit longer to go potty on leash because it's a new thing.
Yeah.
But just give
Well,
him
I
a little
know.
bit.
I noticed that when he walks around and around, and it's like everything is too big for his little leg to go up. So I was thinking about getting him a little place where he feels like he's actually lifting, because
And he's still young, so oftentimes, I mean, he's not quite a year old yet. And so it takes them a little longer to kind of figure out how to balance.
and now he's. I noticed that he's really looking to kind of be able to
Yeah.
lift his legs somewhere, and his legs are little. He can't find quite the place.
Should you be giving him reinforcement while you're walking? Is that
Yeah, by all means, you can talk to him.
Boy, Morty. Boy. Good boy. Okay, go. Go, boy, go. Okay, heel.
He wasn't doing anything, was he? Was he just paralyzed? I think that color is really traumatizing.
See, he tried to pee there. And
Oh, he did?
Yep, that's what he was trying to do.
To mark it.
Yep.
But I don't think
So-
he really needs to go pee.
So if you notice that when you're on your walk, you just keep going. You
Yeah.
don't let him do that.
Oh.
Good boy, Marty.
I have a feeling if you put him in his cage, he's going to take a long nap.
Yeah?
He's tired.
So, when you leave, and should we leave him in the room?
Yeah,
or put him in the cage?
I'd put him in the cage and let him take a nap for a
Leave
little
the door
bit.
open, or
I'd close it.
yeah?
It'll be the equivalent of teaching that downtime.
Okay.
Another thing that a lot of people have trouble with puppies is biting. And what people don't understand is when a puppy starts biting, it means they're tired.
Mm.
They're overtired and they need a nap. So the same thing goes with like zoomies or acting crazy and jumping. He's overtired and needs a nap. After this, he's going to be super tired because this is a lot of mental work for him. So I'd put him in the cage, close it, let him take a nap for at least an hour.
And when we leave the house, should we then leave him in the cage?
Yes, I would.
Really?
Because he's still young, so you want to...
We were leaving him in the laundry room with the cage open, but I
Yeah.
don't know if he ever goes in the cage. I
Was
mean,
he-
that's just a little
When
room.
you left, did he go potty in the laundry room?
He went and pottied right by the door coming to the patio.
Oh, because I was thinking to just leave the laundry room, not the garage. We're feeling like he needs room to roam, but I think
Well, right
Yeah, keep
now,
practicing.
since he hasn't quite figured out house training yet, the more room you give him, you're setting him up for failure.
Okay, 'cause
he
he's gonna
hasn't
go
figured it out
everywhere.
yet. So best thing to do is to put him in the cage if you're not home, so that he doesn't have that chance to make a
Okay.
mistake.
I just feel really bad when
Oh,
they're caged. I
don't.
guess.
Yeah, don't
I
at
have to
all.
get over that.
I've got 4 dogs. My guys spend my 8-hour workday in a cage.
Really?
They're perfectly fine.
Really?
Yeah.
They don't get. I feel like their legs are gonna get like. Good boy, Morty. Look at you standing there. You're such a good boy. Wow.
Yeah, don't feel bad at all by putting him in the cage.
Really?
Yeah, my 4 spend 8 hours in a cage at least while I'm at work.
Do you cover the cage or?
No, I have 2 metal ones and 2 plastic ones. But my light is off in their room when I leave. With him, I'd turn the light off, or you can cover it. It's up to you.
So like at night when we're putting him to bed, what should we do?
Put him in the cage.
And
cover
cover the
it.
cage or leave it open?
If you're gonna turn the light off, I wouldn't cover it. I'd turn the light off.
Especially
and close
now,
the
it's
door.
kind of hot.
Yeah, you gotta have
With
ventilation.
him, I wouldn't cover it because it'll get humid and trap all that air
So
in.
like my son has an extra bedroom in
Yeah.
his place that he's devoted to him.
Mhm.
Should he let him run in that bedroom at night or put him in his cage?
Put him in the cage.
Okay.
Because since he's not house trained yet, and he's still gonna be a puppy until he's 3 years old. That's when they finally hit adulthood. So if you let him have the run of the room, and he's not quite house trained yet, you're setting him up for failure. So
Alright.
putting him in the cage keeps him from making mistakes. You don't want him to make mistakes. You don't
Yeah.
want him to go potty in the house.
So right
He
now,
won't
we
go
take him.
potty so I feel bad like if he potties in the cage and has to sleep in that potty cage all night.
Well, yeah. So what you'll do is you'll feed him dinner.
Mhm.
Wait at least an hour, take him outside, make sure he goes pee, make sure he poops,
Yep.
and then put him in the cage.
Well, I was gonna.
Oh, sorry.
Whoa, yeah. Marty, you're safe by the. So if we take the